My final project was to create an artifact that teaches the principles of animation. I felt this was something that was indicative of my skill set and figured it would be useful for helping students to learn the process of creating animation with life. I felt that this would help students by giving them a resource that they could refer to learn about the individual principles as well as how to implement them into their animation. First thing is that the 12 principles of animation were developed by two animators, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson from Disney Studios back in the 30s and developed over the years. The illusion of life describes the individual principles that were developed. This gave animators a set of rules or principles to go by, and this helps to create the illusion of life with the character. The website that I created contains 5 distinct areas. First is the overview of the principles, which gives the student a chance to learn through other multimedia elements such as video or stills of various principles in action. I also included with each of those numerous examples so that it's clear as to what the individual principles mean and how they can be visualized. I also developed a curriculum which is a series of video podcast tutorial on applying these to a simple bouncing ball animation. This is generally used as a means of teaching the principles because the character of a ball is simple and not focus on the detail of the character, rather focus instead on the principles application. On the website, I have 5 videos showing how to start from scratch using a simple object such as a sphere to represent the character, and I talk about the setup of the ball using a program called Autodesk Maya. Some initial knowledge of the program would be useful for students to have. I decided that since Maya is one of the industry standards in terms of software, that this would be a better option to teach students how to animate these principles in a 3D environment. There are other programs available, such as Blender, which is a free 3D animation open source software, and a lot of these principles can be extrapolated to the other software packages. There's about an hour's worth of video that will take the student through the process of animating a bouncing ball and modifying the application of each of these principles. I talk about 7 different principles in the application of this particular exercise, and there are other methods that are explained further on of how to incorporate some of the other missing principles that are talked about in the initial overview. I also included the rationale as to why I felt the project that I've created satisfies a number of the things that we've learned about in class, such as the various learning theories, net generation, 21st century skills, etc. So there's a large section on the website that also describes the entire rationale behind the principles of animation and their application through this project. Also included is an area of assessment based on what kind of things can we look for in terms of a proper application of these animation principles. The idea is that students will follow through this assignment and learn how to apply them on a simple character. They can continue then to, once they've learned the principles, apply them in various scenarios. The idea is that the students will create a series of different personalities of the ball, changing the principles such as timing, squash and stretch, exaggeration, anticipation, etc., to change the entire personality of the character. And a successful student will be able to define a character doing such actions that might be indicative of a character such as a lazy frog, an angry grasshopper, a injured rabbit, or a Mexican jumping bean. So the idea is that the students will research a particular behavior that they want to represent and then we'll try to use the principles learned to create the final animation, applying the principles as they see fit. So this is the artifact that I created. I hope you enjoy it and have fun with it.